Hi everyone, welcome everybody to this video lecture. Firstly, I would like to emphasize to mention the important components of this study, which are the selected problem, the topic, the main and specific objectives of this study, the contextualization of the topic, the reasons why the topic was chosen, and the conclusion. So that the chosen topic in this case is graphic organizers for improving reading skill. So the main objective of this research study is to fulfill the institutional requirement of the English Language Department of Universidad Nacional de Loja, Ecuador, in order to take the oral complexity test. Finally, the specific objectives of this research were to develop this report in order to make a leaflet with multiple activities using didactic materials, in this case graphic organizers, for the reinforcement of English reading skill. Also, the researching of theoretical and methodological reference about graphic organizers and their application on the reading skill. Finally, the selection of the best graphic organizers for each activity in order to reinforce reading skill. Now let's talk about the problem. Nowadays, the lack of practice in reading has made that many people, especially students, have problems in reading and also in comprehending simple text in context. This is because some institutions, some educational institutions, tend to focus more on other language skills rather than reading. So, another reason is that most of the students consider reading as a boring process due to different factors, such as the lack of interest in books that catch their attention. On the other hand, in some educational institutions, reading comprehension teaching is based on traditional and inefficient methods that make students lose interest on it. So, for those reasons, it is crucial the implementation of new instruments like graphic organizers that permit students to get more reading practice to develop a better comprehension of reading texts. So, so now let's talk about the reading skill. According to the Ministry of Education in Ecuador, reading is a receptive skill which is an input that promotes the improvement of the other skills. So, for that reason, the present study is focused on the reading skill, which is a useful skill for the acquisition of the language, not only for English. Even it promotes learning in other subjects, such as maths, science, arts, etc. So that there are several reasons for developing the reading skill inside and also outside the classroom. It means that through readings, students can improve their critical thinking skills. They also learn to communicate by themselves more effectively. They develop coding and decoding skills. Also, they improved their study skills and they used reading texts as sources of information. On the other hand, the Ministry of Education also mentions that in reading, grammar structures are essential for the comprehension of a text, but it's not enough because of learners need to retain ideas, words, and message in order to understand a text in context and promote a good competent learners. In addition, reading comprehension makes students to improve grammar, punctuation, spelling, and vocabulary when they read. However, students need to take into account in order to have a better reading comprehension, it's necessary it's necessary to know how to improve its sub skills. Which are then? The sub skills of reading are reading for word meaning, reading for skimming, reading for scanning, and reading for reference. Let's talk about the first one, reading for meaning. According to the author Diakidoid, reading for word meaning it's the ability to acquire word meanings from context is a major asset, contributing further the comprehension and providing an indication of the ability to learn from text. So that reading for word meaning it's the acquiring of vocabulary from an educative point of view that demonstrate that without knowing what most of the words mean, a text can be not understood. Let's talk about the reading for skimming. In this case, the author Billy mentioned that skimming is another sub-skill of reading that is focused on forming general and main ideas about a text before entering into details of the text, so that skimming is carried out during the reading and allows students to look for details in addition to the main ideas. Skimming, in this case, is a more complex task than scanning because it requires not only the reader to locate the main idea, but also to organize and remember some of the information provided by the author. Now let's talk about reading for scanning. Billy also mentioned that scanning is another useful tool for speeding up your reading. So when scanning, you look for only for the fact or piece of information without reading everything. So that scanning is a skill that demands students to read quickly a reading text while they are looking for specific information. So in order to scan a reading text, students must start at the top and then move their eyes quickly towards the bottom. So in conclusion, we can say that scanning is a technique that is useful when students go in search of the answer to an unknown question. Finally, we have the reading for reference. Reading for reference means words that represent the same meaning as others. So, for example, writers don't like to use the same word many times in the same paragraph. It's for that reason that they use reference or synonyms in order to avoid repetition. So it means that reference are words that are commonly more repeated are the ones directly related to the topics as well the pronouns. In conclusion, we can say that a referent is a word which supplies another word with the same meaning. It also can be a symbol that expresses a linguistic expression. So, in order to have a successful reading comprehension of a text, it's important to master those reading skills: word meaning, skimming, scanning, and referring. In order to have a better, in order to have a better reading comprehension with the use of new instruments like graphic organizers in this case. So that now it's time to talk about graphic organizers. So in this case, graphic organizers were chosen because they they permit the students to identify, select, collect, organize, and analyze information in order to have a clear knowledge about a piece of writing. Also, these visual representations have different forms and they are used in different occasions that help the students to comprehend better a reading text. So in the same way, graphic organizers also help teachers in classroom to guide and present new information in order to illustrate better their students' knowledge about a piece of writing. Moreover, with the use of graphic organizers, uh, students can make deep cognitive skills such as brainstorming, organizing, and prioritizing content. This empowers students to separate the most important information from the non-important information. So that, in conclusion, we can say that this study is focused on studying the importance of reading comprehension to understand simple text in context through new instruments like graphic organizers, which are useful in order to represent complex information into simple information. Moreover, this will permit students to comprehend better a piece of writing with the capacity to make an effective skimming and scanning of a text, which means the ability to select, identify, collect, organize, and analyze information. Thank you so much.